Markets are sending mixed signals today as investors weigh competing narratives. Welcome to MTRS_Market Pulse. Here is your complete global indices roundup for June 24th. Markets are sending mixed signals today as investors weigh competing narratives. Let us go region by region across the major global indices. Starting with the Americas session. S&P 500 dipped minus 1.44% to $7,365.46. Equity markets are responding to reports that markets recoil in global sell-off driven by tech stocks, the New York Times. NASDAQ 100 made a dramatic move today, plunged minus 3.29% to $29,347. Equity markets are responding to reports that Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ futures rise after chip stock sell-off. YCBRS, PLTR, BLZE, MU, FDX are trending. TradingView. Dow Jones is broadly flat at $51,667, awaiting a fresh catalyst. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P, NASDAQ futures rise after bruising tech sell-off. Micron earnings on tap. Investing.com. Starting with the Europe session. DAX is trading lower by minus 0.98%, at $24,650. The move follows reports that Brent rises after US-Iran peace talks in Geneva are abruptly postponed. FTSE 100 is little changed, hovering near $10,419. Equity markets are responding to reports that Trump's tariffs, Fed minutes, rumbles Bitcoin by what's moving markets. Starting with the Asia session. Nikkei 225 dipped minus 0.88% to $69,175. Currency markets are reacting to Ukraine joins Russia in ruthlessly hammering global tourism as Iran, Israel, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Lebanon, Qatar, Bahrain, Iraq, Syria, and more welcome a cooling Middle East crisis while the Eastern Europe conflict again shatters travel itineraries and eat travel and tour world. Hang Seng ticked up plus 0.33% to $23,412. The move follows reports that BHP, ASX BHP, slips as iron ore weakness puts mining giants under pressure. Calkine. Kospi made a dramatic move today, surged plus 3.26% to $8,471.02. Equity markets are responding to reports that Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ futures rise after chip stock sell-off. YCBRS, PLTR, BLZE, MU, FDX are trending. TradingView. Nifty 50 is trading higher by plus 0.80%, at $24,015. Equity markets are responding to reports that markets recoil in global sell-off driven by tech stocks, the New York Times. Sensex edged higher plus 1.05% to $77,003. Equity markets are responding to reports that markets recoil in global sell-off driven by tech stocks, the New York Times. ASX 200 is trading higher by plus 0.24%, at $8,808.40. The move follows reports that BHP, ASX BHP, slips as iron ore weakness puts mining giants under pressure. Calkine. Now, a look at some of India's most active stocks in the news today. Infosys is up plus 2.59%, trading at 1,056 Indian rupees. The Cobalt AI deal pipeline is growing, but revenue conversion takes 6 to 12 months. Near-term earnings momentum depends on existing account mining. Watch for any guidance revision commentary ahead of the quarterly earnings. The whisper is that the management has become more conservative than warranted. HDFC Bank is up plus 2.34%. Trading at 792.80 Indian rupees. Net interest margin is under some pressure from deposit cost competition, but the liability franchise, the cheapest deposit base in private banking, is the structural moat. Any RBI commentary on the bank's operational constraints being lifted would be a significant re-rating catalyst. Now let us look at what is driving these moves at the macro level. Geopolitical risks remain elevated. The move follows reports that Brent rises after US-Iran peace talks in Geneva are abruptly postponed. This is keeping traders cautious and supporting flows into defensive assets. Equity markets are responding to reports that Trump's tariffs, Fed minutes, rumbles Bitcoin by what's moving markets. Rate expectations remain the single most powerful macro driver for equities and currencies right now. On the data front, equity markets are responding to reports that S&P, NASDAQ futures rise after bruising tech sell-off, Micron earnings on tap, investing.com. And looking at how some of the biggest global names are trading today. Samsung surged plus 9.84% to $340,500 in a significant session. The HBM supply competition with SK Hynix is the defining story. Samsung needs to close the yield gap to win hyperscaler HBM contracts. Consumer DRAM pricing is recovering as inventory normalizes. Watch for any Nvidia or Google qualification update on Samsung HBM. ASML plunged minus 7.82% to $1,778.46 in a significant session. The EUV monopoly is one of the strongest competitive moats in all of technology. AI chip demand for the most advanced nodes directly benefits ASML without the execution risk of being a chip maker. Watch for any update on the 2026 to 2027 capacity shipment schedule. TSMC plunged minus 6.69% to $436.39 in a significant session. AI chip demand has created a demand floor that insulates TSMC from the consumer electronics cycle. High-NA EUV ramp at N2 and beyond represents a technology advantage no competitor can replicate for years. Watch the next earnings call for any commentary on 2026 capacity allocation. Let us give you our near-term view on the NASDAQ 100. The technical picture for NASDAQ 100 has deteriorated. The $27,586 level will be critical to monitor. It represents a key line in the sand for bulls. A break below could trigger further stop-loss selling. Manage your risk carefully. To summarize, 7 indices in the green, 6 in the red today. Risk-on conditions dominate the global equity landscape. Here is what we will be watching closely in the days ahead. Keep a close eye on central bank speakers and rate commentary, and key economic data releases. Any one of these could be the catalyst that defines the next major directional move. Every morning, before markets open, we break down exactly what is moving and why. If you want that edge every day, subscribe and hit the bell icon. If today's analysis was useful, a like is the best way to support the channel. We genuinely appreciate every single one. We read every comment. Drop your view below. That wraps up today's coverage from MTRS_Market Pulse. This content is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Stay disciplined, and we will see you tomorrow. That is your global indices roundup from MTRS_Market Pulse. Subscribe for daily updates across every major market.